them in their underwear. That's from the Brady Bunch.
Love that show.
I want to thank everybody for coming. It means a lot to me that you guys are here. And, you know, the last couple of weeks, it's really made me think that I'm really leaving and embarking on my new chapter. And it makes me think about when I first started working jobs and becoming interested in the fire service. And I remember my first job, I actually made Frisbees just out of high school. And I remember taking the Frisbees off the assembly line and putting them in shipping boxes. And then after every 2 hours, you got a break and you got to go to a different section of the warehouse and make yo-yos. And I remember thinking, this is an interesting job, but I sure damn well don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And my brother, Rob, kind of had an idea that I might want to join the fire department because when we were living in Beaverton, when he was 10, he lit the field behind our house on fire. And the Beaverton Fire Department came and they interviewed my brother and my parents, but I wasn't really interested in the fire service. And my brother, the next summer, thought he'd give it another try because he lit the neighbor's house on fire.
Wow.
Well, his nickname was the Flame when I was growing up. And again, the fire department came. They interviewed my brother and my parents, but I had no interest in the fire service. But it's funny, Dustin, you were talking about the Beaverton Mall because the Flame, my brother, used to work at the mall, and then when Mount St. Helens blew up, he got me hired there temporarily. And I remember in 1981, there was a fire alarm at the Beaverton Mall, and I was walking through the mall, and then here comes the Beaverton Fire Department, and their turnouts and their air packs, holding tools, and I thought, that's when the light went off, that this is what I want to do. And so I went to PCC, and then I went to PCC full-time, and then I transferred to Chemeketa, and then I became a sleeper in Corvallis, and then I commuted to Chemeketa, and then I got hired in Corvallis in 1984, and then came here in 1986. And I worked at the old 267s there, where the library's at now. And 6 months after I worked there, that's where I met one of the greatest friends I've ever had, and that's Tom Webster. And he's such a great friend, I'd like him to just say, well, that son of a bitch. But he told me he wasn't going to make it because he couldn't cancel his haircut. But I remember my first shift was with Dennis Katz. There he is right there, a handsome man. And I remember we took off to the store from the old 267s, and we had a call. We came racing back by the fire station, and I happened to glance in there, and my turnout pants were still sitting there. And then that very same day, I remember we had like an attic fire on Jenkins Road. I don't know if you remember this or not, but
I remember you.
it was at the apartment was Castlewood Arms, and I remember we took off, and you know, back then the firefighters sat backwards, and you're always turning around to look to see if you had a header or what was going on. And I remember in the wintertime it was just so cold out there, And then in the summertime, that engine cowling was right next to you. And the diamond plate was so hot. Oh my God. And there was no headsets. There was none of that. I remember with Beaverton, they had on these gigantic earmuffs that would keep you from losing your hearing, but they were just huge. And I remember we rolled to that Castlewood Arms and set the brake, and there was no voice visual touch back then. I mean, Cats, you know what he's like, maybe. I mean, he was gone. And I'm trying to catch up, and I remember in Corvallis, they always taught me, you always want to grab a piece of equipment. And so I remember opening a compartment door and grabbing a pike pole and running to try and catch up to Cats. And I remember by the time I finally found him, he was already in an attic. And I'm going, Dennis, what do you need? And I could hardly hear him. I can't hear you. What do you need? I could hardly hear him. And then finally, I think I heard him say pike pole. I said, well, I got a pike pole. And I went to hand it to him. But in my haste to grab the pike pole, I actually was handing him a broom. And I remember he's looking down in the attic like I'm the dumbest guy on earth. And then he says, where's your helmet? And I went to, my helmet wasn't there, but my gigantic earbud. I remember thinking, man, they must think I'm a real winner. But I made it. And it's been a wonderful ride. And the reason it's been a wonderful ride is because of you. It's the people. And Tuolumne Valley is a great place to work. And the reason it's a great place to work is because of you. So I want to thank you, every one of you, for being here. Somebody asked me last week, what am I going to miss? And I'm going to miss handing out the badges and the tattoos to little kids. I'm going to miss telling people not to park in the fire lane. It's kind of my thing. I'm going to miss just the camaraderie that comes with shift work. I'm going to miss driving around in the fire engine and waving to kids and waving to people. And I miss that look that they give us, that we're really making a difference. I'm going to miss that a lot. I'm going to miss the shenanigans, the practical jokes that occasionally have happened in my 29 years. I remember when I was working with Dennis at the old 267s, Nathan DeBoer and I drove Frank Pose's pickup truck from the back parking lot next to the St. Cecilia's Church, and we put a giant for sale sign on the windshield. We gave the station phone number and we tried to sell it for $200. And after about 20 phone calls, we finally realized what had happened. I remember when I was at 60s, I remember doing the dishes one time, and I was in the middle, and then the dishwasher was here, and there was a guy there and a guy here. And I'd scrub them and I'd give them to the guy there, and he'd push him and put him in the dishwasher. But what I didn't know was he would hand it behind my back to the guy right here. And then he would keep handing it to me, and I'd give it to him, and then I'd come back here. And they got me in a big discussion, so I never really thought about it. And it's like I was doing dishes for 20 minutes. Where he finally wise up and like, really? I remember the potato gun, and it's too bad that Bernie's gone because it was his damn potato gun. At the old 255 there next to Shiloh Wind, we used to fire that thing up behind the station, and we never knew where the potatoes ended up. We never heard the thud. And it wasn't probably that smart of an idea because Highway 26 was right there. And I remember this station, and there's a certain somebody on our shift, I'm not going to name names, but his nickname is Predatot. That you wear your workout gear around here, your pants. He could climb out of a cupboard. He could come out from under the rug, from down in the attic, and the next thing you know, those shorts would be down at your ankles, and he'd slap your butt just to let you know that I got you. And there's the workouts, there's a string on your workout pants, and you would tie that so tight. You'd walk around, there's no way he's going to get these down. And then next thing you know, they were down, and you're going to get a slap on the back, butt, and your string would be in 3 pieces. He is. I remember going through my pants today, all my workout pants, and every one of them, either the string is gone, or it's like this long. But it's going to be hard. What I'm going to miss the most is when you're handed a gift and you're able to finish your career with the greatest crew I've ever had in my life. It's like working with 3 brothers. I just hope that everybody gets a chance to do that because it's really, really special. And finally, I want to thank Carolyn and Sam. Carolyn and I, we're not married anymore, but we're still the greatest friends. And for her to put up with our schedule and to be so supportive through all this time, I just want to thank you. And, I was at 51s when Sam was born, 16 years ago, and Carolyn used to bring him by, little guy, and he'd wander around the bay, and he'd have to sit in every rig that was there. You'd think they were all the same, but now he wanted to drive the fire engine, then we'd move to the fire truck, then we'd move to the volunteer engine, then we'd move to the tender, and if there was a chief's rig or a medic unit, Sam would want to sit in that thing. And at first I thought, man, that's really cute. But like, after the 20th time, it's like, come on! It's all the same. But another thing that I'm going to miss is when people knew Sam when he was just a little guy, they still come up to me today and say, hey, how's Sam doing? And I don't think you get that with a lot of places. People generally care about you and your family. And finally, I want to thank you, Sam, for being who you are. Because your mom and I are very proud of you. That's it. Thank you.